It's not like you can drop dead. That's the sort of time switch down your head. You get not inspired and been misled. Nothing is the policy through again. Screaming at the cool, screaming at his feet. He can drag your way to extremes. He can start time never sleep. It's not like he can drop dead. In the possibility he was free. He will spend his time irreverently. Only insane in every vice. Johnny Street in every fucking twice. He can drag your way to his knees. He can start time never sleep. It's not like he can drop dead.
Intellectually terrorise us to know our truth. Won't over here your privilege know us too. For folks who prize my genitals so highly, you showed us yours but missed the point entirely. I can clearly see her unwashed agenda, and I'm a fucked up agenda bender. Don't try and stop it, there's no way to defend ya. You know our existence will endure. Must we endure your social expressions? Please judge all within my mind within expressions. And as you deny your murderous simplicity, don't you weaponize my lived authenticity. I can clearly see our unwashed agenda, and I'm a fucked up agenda bender. Don't try and stop it, there's no way to defend ya. We know our existence will end ya. Intellectually terrorise us to know our truth. One over here, your privilege so untruth. For folks who prize my genitals so highly, you showed us all but missed the point entirely. I can clearly see your unwashed agenda, and I'm a fucked up agenda bender. Don't try and stop it, there's no way to defend ya. We know our existence will end ya. Must we enjoy your naughty expressions. To be judged all women by Myra's murder session. And as you deny your murderous stupidity, don't you recognise my authenticity? I can clearly see a wrong of the gender, put it away, love. And I'm a fucked up agenda, gender bender. Don't try and stop it, there's no way to defend ya. We know our existence will endure.
Their spirit god is Hadda, which is a wasp, and a front person wasp's name is Wasp. So that's about the size of it. So Rites of Hadda started about 8 years ago in a squat in North London that Wasp and some others were living in. And it started off just as a jam session, and that was kind of the ritual that built from there. And then a band kind of emerged from the jam session. So yeah, we've been going for 8 years now, playing. I mean, we describe ourselves as punk, but I think there's a lot of psychedelic, there's a lot of goth, there's a lot of paganism in there as well. So it's not just street punk. There's a lot more to it, I think.
There's plenty of philosophy behind the whole thing as well. Then
I think we all come from quite a subversive political, and so there's definitely a punk DIY mentality to it. But yeah, Wasp also has a lot of spiritualism. A lot of the lyrics are based on different kind of mystic philosophical stories and gods as well, and a lot of stuff about revolutions and riots, and yeah.
So you certainly seem pretty active in the music scene. You've certainly been getting a lot of gigs. Is that,
we have recently, yeah, definitely. It's been a very good year for us. So I mean, 2020 was going to be. It seemed like it was going to be our breakout year, and that's confirmed for Rebellion Festival. But then, we all know what happened to 2020,
yes.
And so then we were kind of biting our nails, thinking, like, oh God, are we going to get booked again for 2021? Then 2021 happened. So, we're lucky that we got booked again for 2022. And I think off the back of that, and maybe off the back of our merits as a band, we, have, been doing really good this year. So I'm glad that a couple of dormant years where everybody was, kind of, dormant, hasn't hurt us. And I think, our songwriting and our band as a unit has gotten stronger from it as well.
So what is the philosophy in the songwriting of Rites of Hadda? Do you have like individual
I'm the wrong person to actually say that.
I just wondered, like, is there individual songwriters, or do you write as a group?
We like to write as a group. I mean, I would say our favorite way is that we kind of, maybe somebody has a bit of an idea. There are definitely some songs where people have brought a song to a rehearsal and we've edged it out from there. So, more or less there's one songwriter for that. But, some of our best songs is really, just jamming out in the studio, just jamming out. And I think that's some of the magic is really much more spontaneous. Like, for example, Simon joined the band I think January 2019, and at the time Wasp was away for a couple of months in India, so we just thought, like, mate of Matthias is our drummers, be interesting to see how it would work with a sax player. And so we had a couple of months where we didn't really have anything on the agenda. We weren't practicing for gigs, we weren't writing for a record or for any reason. We were just jamming for the fun of it and to see how it would work with a sax player. And then from that like the kind of the basis, the foundation of a couple of songs came out, and then when Wasp came back, so I mean, typically what happens is that like the musicians behind us, Paul, the bassist, myself, Simon, the sax player, Matthias, the drummer, will formulate a song, and then Wasp will put lyrics and poems and words that they've already written or that they feel matches to that kind of atmosphere or that musical sound. So it's the best musical writing that we have is all where everybody has a little bit of their own part in it, rather than somebody coming and giving a song to the others.
And what would you say about the live performance with Rites of Hadda?
Ooh, I like to just like hide behind in the back of the stage while Wasp goes crazy. I mean, Wasp is an absolutely amazing person. They are, they have a bit of a background in drag performance from before, so brings an element of that into it. They're also just a really, really strong dramatic performer, and I think, but even though I've been playing in bands for many years, I'm not necessarily such an outgoing person and can be a bit shy. So this is a perfect band for me because I can just hide in the background.
You can
while
do your
everybody's watching
thing
what
whilst
I can
all
do
the
my thing.
action's
Yeah,
happening at the front. Yeah.
Exactly.
And yet you're the one sort of doing all the organizing and so forth, like getting me involved and that kind of thing. And all my communication, like with regards to the Punk for the Homeless gig, has all been with you. So you're good. Is that kind of something that you more excel at, the sort of organizational side of things?
I think as a group, we each bring a bit of our own thing. Like Wasp has a background of more like protest and activism, and is very active in like animal rights activism. They work for some like animal shelters, both in London and in India, and campaigns around Europe and around the world and stuff like that. I've got a background. I mean, even before Rites of Hadda, I've known Eagle and the Punk for the Homeless pretty much since Eagle's doing Punk for the Homeless. So, and Punk for the Homeless started about 12 years ago in Boston, Lincolnshire. My old band, who Matthias, the drummer, and I were in, Oyster Men, we played the second ever Punk for the Homeless. I mean, Eagle had been putting on charity gigs before then, but we played the second ever. And then another mate of mine, Dan Impossible, we decided, hey, why don't we, do something like this in London? So it was within a year after we'd met Eagle for the first time that we decided that we'd, put on a benefit gig of our own. And then, I've kind of stuck with the Punk for the Homeless brand since then. I mean, I used to work as a promoter, about 20 years ago, ish. And yeah, I wouldn't want to do it any longer as a profession, but because I enjoy doing it as as something that I enjoy doing. I mean, if you're getting paid for something, then it's a really quick way to suck your passion out of that activity.
So
yeah,
with Punk for the Homeless, how's it been going? Has it been taking off in London, and why for the orphanage in Sierra Leone?
Right. So at the start of Punk for the Homeless, our main benefactor was what used to be called Casa Alianza Charity, which is children's charity. And Eagle wanted to do something which was for street children. And I mean, to cut a long story short, basically went around to various different charities and said, hey, we want to put on punk gigs and give you the benefits, give you the proceeds of those gigs. And a lot of the charities just turned around and said, oh, punk, no, don't want anything to do with that. Don't want you representing our brand. And Compass Children's Charity were really open-armed and said, hey, right, you want to give us money and you want to spread like, our name? absolutely, that's great. You know, how can we help? And so they've been really helpful. Now, over the lockdown, just before the lockdown, we got introduced to a group that knew Hope Orphanage, and so Eagle and Rachel did one gig which we called Girls Are Allowed, which was fantastic, purely to raise money for Hope Orphanage. And then during the course of lockdown, as we're doing a lot of live streams, then we realized that, you know, there's a connection and there's an interaction. Okay, so Tantrumzentrum, we know, first of all, you know, we speak to the girls, we know Rashid, and we talk to them, and people that are donating money, ourselves included, know where that money is going because they're very transparent about it. Need us. We can see that, you know, we discuss with them what are their needs, they decide what and where the money goes to, and there's a lot more of a connection. Not to say that it's not important to raise money for charities like Compass Children's Charity, but we're one drop in the ocean, and
so in a way, it's good with the Sierra Leone orphanage that the money can make perhaps a bigger difference because they're not so immediately wealthy and that sort of thing.
No, exactly. I mean, it's more visibly effective to us, and we have a personal connection with them because we speak to them. And we could see that, you know, we were putting on a lot of gigs where we'd put a link and we'd say, okay, please donate to Compass Children's Charity. Excellent. And then we do, you know, we do one Compass Children's Charity gig, and then we do a Girls Are Allowed gig, which was, you know, mainly female performers or performers that identify as female. And we put on those gigs, and we'd see, you know, from our audience and from our supporters and, well, our family, that there was so much more interest in Hope Orphanage. And again, because you can see that connection, and we can see the girls, and they send us thank you videos, and so yeah.
So that direct connection is definitely something which will, I mean, obviously to get that feedback, it's got to sort of feel more worth it. So tell us about the other bands that we've got joining us. Tell us about Chalice.
Okay.
I mean,
Right, so
I know
Chalice
a
are
fair
old
bit about
mates.
Tantrumzentrum, but tell us about Chalice.
Okay, Chalice are old mates of ours. Rites of Hadda have played with many times over the years. Predominantly London-based band. They're a very interesting band musically. I definitely recommend to go and check them out. They, again, are another band that come from a lot of different musical backgrounds, so you can hear a lot of different influences, and they bring a lot more into the music. It's not just, you know, straightforward rock or straightforward punk. They describe somewhere between monk funk and panto punk. So yeah, do go and check them out.
That sounds interesting. I've got a video of theirs lined up to play, so we'll play that in a bit.
Fantastic. Okay. Yeah. Then there's yourselves, of course.
And everybody knows all about Jandor Band.
Then there's Tantrumzentrum, who are good mates of ours, and I understand that they're good mates of yours as well. Igor is.
And Igor's played in my band 3 times, drums once and bass twice. So yes, it's all big happy families. Coming up to play for me in December as well, so that'll be interesting. And he played with his auto rotation band a couple of years ago.
Okay, so Tantrumzentrum, we know Jay from years ago. He's a bassist. He used to be in a band called Lack, who we used to play with a lot in the early years of Rites of Hadda. And then through that, you know, Jay joined Tantrumzentrum, or actually, you know, they all formed it together. Is also the original drummer from Crisis, was the drummer, the original drummer of Tantrumzentrum. Now they have a new drummer, so that'll be interesting to see. Bit of a dodgy topic. I'm not a royalist at all. I'm not even British, so I mean, I don't give a fuck about it. It's an interesting mix. I find this whole thing. Igor, yes, I know. Half the songs are in English, half the songs are in There is a leave button on this. Can you evict me as well?
Last time I saw them was in Chatham, and they were absolutely excellent. They're really electric that night, and playing with them in Chatham as well. I think are they there that night? I think no, I don't think it's Pink Diamond Review next time. But yeah, I'm playing with them Saturday, obviously, and then played with them last time. Well, I saw them in Chatham a while back.
Right. Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. Well, yeah, it's going to be a really good gig on Saturday. So, like
free entry gig as well.
Free entry gig. So, I mean, in Nottingham, which is where Punk4TheHomeless have their home base now at the Sumac Centre, they have a suggested donation. That if we rather make it free and then go around with a donation bucket, those that can't afford it or those that just don't want to, don't put any money in, but those that can afford it and those that want to tend to be very generous. And so we usually make a lot more donations making it free on the door than we would if it was, a $5. At least then more people show up, and those that can afford it or that care donate, and those that don't. So the Queen's Head in Brixton, that's the home base of South London Punk Collective, so definitely have to give them a shout out. They are real massive supporters of the punk scene in London. Venues have closed down in the last couple of years, and so they've taken it upon themselves to have this venue in Brixton where they supply the PA, they supply the back line. When they can, they do the sound themselves. If not, maybe I do. But on Saturday, John Ewins, who's one of the people behind South London Punk Collective, is doing the sound there. And they facilitate a lot of gigs for other promoters that need a venue. And that venue comes to promoters for free. And so, they really, really do a lot to keep the London punk scene afloat.
Sounds very good indeed. It's the way it should indeed be. So we have a question or two from you, such as how long have you been playing?
How long have I been playing full stop or in the band?
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any qualifier there, so it's how long have you been playing? So
okay. I started playing guitar when I was 15, so that's over 25 years ago. But in Rites of Hadda, I was not the original guitarist, but I have played every single gig. So 8 years now.
So 8 years in Rites of Hadda and over 25 years in total. Does your beard have a name?
I bet that's Alan.
Of course.
It does. It's called Alan. It's called Mr. Morgan.
And what do you think of the Queen?
What do I think of the Queen?
You strike me as a definite royalist.
Bit of a dodgy topic. I'm not a royalist at all. I'm not even British, so I don't give a fuck about the Queen, to be honest.
Not even British. Get out.
Yes, I know, right? There is a leave button on this. Can you evict me?
Yeah. What pet would you have?
What pet would I have? Oh, that's a tricky one. Maybe an iguana.
And are you a fan of the Tories?
God, no. Fuck
who is? It's hard to find anyone who is, yet somehow people seem to keep voting for them. So
no, absolutely. Well, they're stuck in their echo chambers, and in the forums and Facebook, and saying naughty things about them.
How long do you think it'll be until Liz Truss is no longer Prime Minister?
Ooh, she's so unpopular that I'm kind of hoping that she'll stick around until the next election, and then become so unelectable that some other party that's hopefully,
how long to the next election, you think?
A couple of years, isn't it?
Do you think it'll make it the whole way?
I don't know. Maybe not.
Will we have an election before the scheduled date? Will Liz Truss be gone before then, and we'll be having a general election? Who knows?
If she gets shot, nobody's going to complain too loudly, are they?
But what about the pork markets she's opened up for us?
Well, I don't know. Rights
we
for a vegan
import 2/3 of our cheese, and that's a disgrace. Anyway, we know you've got rehearsals and things to do tonight. So Queen's Head, Brixton, Saturday night. I will see you there. Looking forward to it very much.
Really looking forward to it, Derek. Yeah.
So thank
first
you
time
for
I
your
see
time.
you guys live. Thank you very much.
I promise it will be quite the spectacle.
Excellent. Yeah, I think we're all in good company on Saturday. It's going to be a fantastic gig.
I've got a nice new outfit to wear for it, so that's going to be interesting as well. Anyway, thank you very much, Alex, for your time, and looking forward to seeing you Saturday then.
Yeah, me too. Looking forward to seeing you.
All right. Bye for now.
Have a nice evening. Bye for now. Ciao.
people such as me here. I'm thinking to myself, you know, I should be so happy.
System.